get off the plane. And she goes to me, have you got anything to declare? I says, that's what I think of your selection policy. She took it sour. What am I to do to that?
There's nothing you can do. Her problem. And the airlines.
Yeah. Modern day travel, isn't it?
Speaking of modern day travel, Roma have been flying out to Liverpool this week for the Champions League.
Champions League week. Welcome back, everyone.
Yeah, welcome back after a couple of days off.
We did say we'd be back on a more regular basis, and here we are.
Yeah, never to disappoint.
Champions League, Sam. Where do you want to start?
I would like to start in the first minute of Liverpool-Roma over at Anfield.
Incredible.
Now that was one of the weirdest games I've ever watched. Because the weirdest thing is, and not many people have said this, Liverpool could easily have scored 3 or 4 more. Wijnaldum could have scored. Salah could have scored before that. Mane could have scored twice. And it still went 5. It was absolutely vicious.
I've never seen such a dominant display at that stage of the Champions League.
Should never have finished 5-2. They were just knocking them in.
Yeah. It was like a Sunday League game. You know,
Yeah, it was.
In the stages between when the second half started up to about the 70th minute, it was like a Sunday League game. It was far too easy for Liverpool.
Yeah, it was really. It was. The ball over the top working every time as well.
Yeah.
No intricate tactics. I mean, those are tactics. I'm not saying they're not tactics.
Yeah, weird that Roma couldn't deal with that though. You know, like a long ball you would think is what they would have hoped for.
I guess they've had 3 at the back though. So the criticism of 3 at the back is always that you can be got at in the channels.
Yeah.
And that's what happened in the first half, definitely, when they were just chopping it over the top to whoever. They were like flipping Wijnaldum taking it down on his chest in the right-hand channel. It was just anyone. It was just whoever the willing runner was. I remember, who were we watching the commentary of? It might have been Stuart Holden who did the commentary. He was talking about James Milner pouring forward at one point. And that was just, James Milner was meant to be the holding player there with Jordan Henderson. But yeah, it was just, I think they figured out after half an hour or so that if you go forward, you're going to get a couple of openings. And they got more than a couple.
And the thing is, like you say, with the 3 at the back, it works okay so long as your fullbacks are actually having an impact on the game. But if you're being dominated by the other team, then essentially you go to a back 5, don't you? And you essentially just give up the game, and you just have to basically defend wave after wave of attacks.
Could you name Roma's starting 11 from last night?
No.
Neither could I, and I watched them for 90 minutes. I could name 4 or 5 of them. I could go Alisson, Juan Jesus,
De
Rossi, Kolarov, Dzeko, and Under. After that, who knows? Strootman was playing. No, I only know that because I saw him come off at the end, and I know he didn't come on as a sub because he was injured.
Yeah.
He was injured at the end.
No, it's very telling, isn't it?
They just didn't have the ball, man. After that first 10 minutes.
I've heard a couple of people saying today, obviously those 2 goals have helped a lot. I just don't see how you stop Liverpool scoring.
I checked this earlier on. It's happened 3 times all season. West Brom 0-0, Everton 0-0, United 0-0. But here's the thing: the only time Liverpool have failed to score is in a 0-0 draw. A 0-0 draw suits them down to the ground.
Yeah.
So that's no problem. It's not. I know everyone said this about Barca, but with all due respect to Barca, Liverpool, at least in the past couple of months, and definitely in the Champions League, Barca were quite poor in the Champions League for goal scoring this season. Remember them scraping past, I think it was Olympiacos, with an own goal.
Barca haven't been drilling any teams this season, though.
They've been solid defensively for the most part, apart from against Roma. But no, yeah, you're right. You'd definitely say Liverpool's attack's been more potent, which is evidenced by the fact that flaming Salah and Firmino have got 10 goals apiece in the Champions League.
Yeah, and they're by far and away the top goal scorers in the competition.
So, I think it's a bit of a formality, the second leg.
It is. You would expect Liverpool to be there. The only other question is who do they play?
Real Madrid.
Definitely.
100%. I saw a few comments off Gareth Bale earlier on about Robert Lewandowski being absent in the first leg, the last time they played, and it was too late by the time they played him in the second leg to make any impact.
Yeah.
But it's Cristiano Ronaldo, obviously, Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, and Isco is a massive... Isco is easily... Like, when you start naming Madrid's best players, You go, and I know you'd be there for hours because they've got so many.
Yeah.
You go Ronaldo, defo, Marcelo, defo, Ramos, depending on your tastes, Kroos, Modric, and then Isco. Isco to me is easily top 5. That guy's a freak. Dribbling, passing, his finishing's not insane, but it doesn't need to be. If it had to be, his finishing would be better, no doubt. This doesn't have to be because you've got Ronaldo up front.
They're too good. They're too good in the Champions League, aren't they? You never watch them and don't think they're going to win. It's quite telling that James Rodriguez will be playing tonight, won't it?
That'd be interesting.
It will be interesting.
2-year loan. Or is it a 3-year loan? It's 2, isn't it?
I think it's a loan. I think it's getting made permanent at the end of the season.
Will they? Why not? Why not?
I think so.
Don't want to see that guy go back to Madrid. I don't think it's going to work out for him now.
Nah, I don't think it is.
It can't, because what position does he play? Isco's position. No, Isco plays in Isco's position. Gareth Bale can't even displace Isco from the Madrid starting lineup. They play different positions.
No. Where's Asensio now?
Bench.
Yeah.
I think he's probably got knackered. I think at some point, because you remember how I was watching the highlights of these recently. You know the Super Cup game where Ronaldo took his shirt off.
Yeah.
He scored a great goal. Don't remember it for the shirt off. Asensio over those 2 legs scored 2 absolute belters against Barca. 2 absolute belters.
Outside of the box.
One outside of the box where he's dead in the centre.
Crack. Yeah.
And it goes top left.
Yeah.
And then another one where it's after. So they beat Barca 3-1 at the Nou Camp. Ronaldo scored his. And then Asensio goes down 1-on-1 on the break, bangs it in the top left-hand corner from a bit of an angle on the left-hand side. Like he comes into the left channel on the edge of the area, just bangs it straight past Ter Stegen, who's standing up, puts his arm up to the top corner and goes, shouldn't have bothered. Stretch for nothing. So I think he started the season really, really energetically, and he's just tailed off. He's too young to be able to go a full season in all competitions.
Yeah, what is he now, 19?
I think he's 20. I think he's turned 20. So it makes sense. And it's the opposite of last season. Last season he came to the fore at the end of it was that Bayern game.
In the Champions League time.
Yeah, scored against Bayern, scored against Juve in the final.
Yeah. I don't know. It's still a good place to be for a young man.
Definitely a good place to be learning. Jesus. He was keeping Gareth Bale out of the team for a period this season. And he's been talking about Bayern.
Who?
Gareth Bale.
Gareth Bale.
Very, very glowing terms. He's been saying it's an honour to be linked with Bayern. Don't do that when you're about to play him. Because Zidane goes, I wasn't going to pick Bale, but now I'm definitely not going to pick Bale. And now I'm not even going to bring him on.
And now he's in the naughty corner.
But fair play. You know what? I think Gareth Bale... I'd love to see Gareth Bale do that. I wanted to see him go to Chelsea when Chelsea had won the league, but not so much now. I'd love to see him... I don't really want to see him go to United, because United have got too many players in that position, and it's not that Bale wouldn't get in, it's just that Rashford and or Martial would have to go. He'd replace Juan Mata, but if you go sign Sanchez one season, sign Bale the other season, there's no way that they're getting displaced until 6 months of dreadful form. So it just wouldn't work.
It'd be amazing to see him go to another absolutely massive giant as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like Bayern Munich, Juventus, I'd love to see him go to.
He's doing a tour of Europe.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Like, what British player's done that?
No
ever?
one does.
Can't name one.
No one does.
Can't name one. Gareth Bale. Steve McManaman went to Madrid. Woodgate, Owen, just Madrid. Beckham, I suppose, is the closest. But you know Beckham was a superstar. Beckham was... When Beckham went to AC Milan, it was like, Beckham's at AC Milan. He was 1, a fading force, and 2, it's bloody David Beckham, man. It's not like Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale's a bit of an underdog story, because everyone went, oh, brilliant, Gareth Bale, local lad, he's, I know he's Welsh, but, young British lad. Yeah. He's done the Premier League now, where's he going to go? Oh, Madrid, brilliant, scored the winner, and it was the winner in the Champions League final.
And he did go as well, that's the point, isn't it?
When excelled, got a few injuries. Jesus, who doesn't get a few injuries? Ronaldo and Messi. But moved to Bayern Munich. Did equally well. They'll win a couple of leagues there, man. Yeah. You and I would win a couple of leagues in Bayern Munich. We wouldn't play.
Definitely not.
Might get a medal.
Don't know if we get the appearances.
I don't know what the rules are in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Premier League's quite harsh for it, having 10.
10 is a lot. Does seem a lot.
Because I read a story recently about someone getting... So, the way that it's the Champions League. In the Champions League, there's no appearance criteria. It's the team gets a number of medals, so you'll get like 35 medals or something, and you distribute them as you see fit. So there was a thing about Coutinho could get a Champions League medal for Liverpool if they win it because he played in the Champions League. So when UEFA go, here's the 35 medals or 50 medals, and Liverpool go, oh yeah, Coutinho deserves one because he played his part, then he can legally have a winner's medal. Because he's appeared in that competition, and because Liverpool at their discretion have said, yeah, give him one.
Yeah, was that Sky Sports who doing that?
Could be right.
I think so.
One of our competitors.
Yeah, I saw. It's quite interesting about Zidane going for his third Champions League trophy. There's I think there's 3 managers who have won 3. I can't remember who they are. I know Ancelotti's won.
Ancelotti, has he done 3? Did he win one with Juve then? 2 with Milan.
2 with Milan.
2 with Milan, is it?
Where else did he win one? It
must be Juve. He didn't win it with Chelsea. He didn't win it with Bayern Munich. It must be. It's not 3 with Milan though. Milan won it in 2007. Did they? 6, 7. I know he managed Juventus, but I don't know. But look, I seem to remember hearing that Ancelotti was one of them.
No, it is. It definitely is. I seem to remember it.
Who were the others?
The other day.
Has Van Gaal won it? Nah, Van Gaal's not. No, definitely not 3 times. I was trying to think if he's won it once. Let's try and get this other one then, because it's going to annoy me. This Spanish coaches, Italian coaches, German coaches. Did Jupp Heynckes ever win? No, Jupp Heynckes never won it. This has got to be way back then. We've got to be going back a few years, back a couple of decades. Who? Oh, I'll tell you what. Rinus Michels. Was it Rinus Michels?
Let's have a look. So Bob Paisley
with Liverpool. Yep. Okay, long time ago. That's the European Cup.
Carlo Ancelotti. There's only 2, so he's trying to become the 3rd.
So how? But who did Ancelotti win them with?
Milan and twice with Madrid.
Oh, of course he won it with Madrid. Man.
2 stints.
Of course he did. Idiot.
2 stints.
Yeah, right, brilliant. Fair play to him. So yeah, Zidane and Ancelotti on level footing for European Cups.
Yeah, and imagine that in as many years, pretty much.
Yeah, but then you've got how many leagues did Ancelotti win at AC Milan?
Oh yeah, I'm not trying to compare the 2, but it is still incredible
in Europe.
The time frame that Zidane's done it.
And at least with Ancelotti's time at Madrid, he had the same players at his disposal, almost exactly the same players at his disposal. You know, it's pretty much the same squad. I think Casemiro is a difference. Carvajal, I think Carvajal was still playing back then, wasn't he? Carvajal was playing for Madrid. I seem to remember him playing in the final against Atletico that they won on pens.
Yeah, because he's won it a few times, hasn't he?
So Casemiro and Varane. I don't know if he played Varane. I think he just had Pepe and Ramos. But it's largely the same team, isn't it?
Pretty much.
There you go. So that'd be interesting.
Team of winners.
That'd be interesting to see. Speaking of winners, Arsene Wenger's announced his retirement. Who do you think's the next Arsenal manager, and who do you want as the next Arsenal manager?
Who I want? Carlo Ancelotti.
Yeah, me too. I think
we've just gone through his.
Yeah, the reasons are numerous.
His little CV. I don't know. Ancelotti is a proven manager, isn't he?
Yeah,
he'd be amazing in the Premier League again. In the era where we now have Guardiola, Mourinho and Klopp, who looks as though he's making Liverpool stick around, it'd be amazing to have Ancelotti back at Arsenal.
Yeah, I think Arsenal would need something that significant. I don't think Luis Enrique is going to be enough for Arsenal.
Nah, Pochettino looks like one of the most encouraging young managers who are around.
Imagine if they got him, that'd be insane.
But I don't know, that just seems too much.
Oh yeah, defo. The thing is though, right? So I've been reading a lot of this recently. I've reading a lot about this recently. You've got, it seems to be, there's a little love triangle between Conte, Luis Enrique and Ancelotti with Arsenal, where everyone's been talking about Ancelotti going for the Italy job, but Conte's nailed on for the Italy job, isn't he?
Yeah.
Conte's going to take the Italy job, so Ancelotti's going to be without a job. He recently, what were his comments now? Made some comments about the Arsenal job where he'd not ruled himself out of it.
Yeah, he said something like, "I am looking for work."
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer to go for Ancelotti, but I've heard no murmurings from anyone, any sources close to Arsenal that it's going to be him. The last name, the name I read about was Mikel Arteta. You see that?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who it was that favoured him. Not Stan Kroenke. That'd be weird, man.
I don't think that'd be good at all.
That'd be. Do you know what that is? That's like what a European club does. So you know Barca's little hierarchical promotions where they go, you manage the Barca B team. Then you it's like an heir to the throne, isn't it? It's like the succession plan is there because they don't bring in Barca don't hire Jose Mourinho.
Yeah.
Barca hire. You know who Barca are going to. You can almost plan out Barca's next 10 managers because they're already managing the what are they called? Barca's B team now.
I don't know.
Are they just called Barca B? Madrid are called Castilla. I think they're just called Barca B.
I think so, yeah.
But you're managing them. So I'm not sure. I'm really not sure how I see it going because English teams, big English teams, never do that. They never go, hey, we've got a guy who played for us, he knows the culture. And Arteta left for a coaching job at City, for one. And I'm sure he's learned a lot from Guardiola, but it would be a very unusual move, wouldn't it?
Well, that's a massive jump, isn't it?
Oh.
To go from assisting Pep Guardiola, who, without no disrespect to Mikel Arteta, but Guardiola's ruined the show there.
Yeah, do you know what? It's the pressure, man. The pressure. Even if he's got the acumen, even if he's got the tactical nous and everything, the pressure that Mikel Arteta is going to be under if he takes the Arsenal job on full time, that's a lot more than just tactics, isn't it?
It was it Gazidis?
That's right, even Gazidis.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see how it goes. I think they will end up going for Luis Enrique. I think they'll do it. I think they'll take him on. I'd love him to do well because who doesn't want? Apart from Spurs fans, does anyone actually go, oh, I hope Arsenal keep going really badly? It'd be great to see Arsenal because first and foremost, there's players like Mesut Ozil who you watch and think, I love watching this guy. Lacazette, I think he's an exciting player.
Yeah.
Aaron Ramsey, I love watching. Aaron Ramsey has a patch every season, which is like that season that Liverpool nearly won the league, where Suarez stole the show. But if you remember, for a long time, it was Suarez and Ramsey neck and neck for player of the season. And Suarez ended up blitzing it in the end. But Aaron Ramsey, I'd love to see that guy do well. It'd be great to see Arsenal come back to the top table.
There's something really cool about watching Ramsey do well after he broke his leg.
Yeah, that's the other thing. There's a bit of a rooting for a guy who should have had his career ended. Yeah.
Still gets booed at the Britannia every season.
If there's any Stoke fans listening,
I don't get that one.
Don't do that. Don't boo Aaron Ramsey. Boo Ryan Shawcross.
Well, won't be happening next season anyway. Sorry, Stoke fans.
Yeesh. Paul Lambert's not going to be sacked though.
No, he's going to stay on in his tracksuit.
Maybe if he is sacked, he gets the Arsenal job.
Oh.
Give it Pulis.
Give it Pulis.
Pulis will take it if Borough don't get promoted.
I think you're right though. I think they'll go for Enrique purely because of style of play. Yeah. That's why.
Yeah, it makes more sense when you look at Wenger.
And
yeah, I suppose like the emphasis on philosophy and stuff like that. It'd be interesting though. It'd be interesting, I suppose, on a cynical level, to see whether a guy who's come from Barca's very homogenised in-house environment to Arsenal, to a league where you have to buy a lot of players and you have to force them to work in the way that, let's exclude Guardiola, who's been a bit of an anomaly. For the most part, look at Conte, look at Mourinho. I suppose it's just those two, really. I guess Wenger's had to do it in the last season, at least. You have to buy a lot of really good players. You can pay them a fortune, because that's the Premier League wage. But then you have to quickly glue them into place. And if they don't start performing in 6 months, then I'm afraid you're already under pressure.
It's true. And it's just a much more physical league as well.
That's what they say.
Many more games around the Christmas period, which you won't be used to.
No, I suppose it's a different issue to have to face. Guardiola had a couple of comments about it, didn't he?
I think it's pretty eye-opening, isn't it?
It's funny listening to Guardiola though. When you hear Guardiola and his opinions on the English Premier League, when people ask him if it's more difficult than other leagues, he doesn't say that. He says it's harder than other leagues.
Yeah.
And what I understand that to mean is that it is physically grueling because you play through Christmas. It's freezing cold most of the time, and you're getting battered around. Like, you're allowed to do. There is no Stoke in La Liga. Is there?
Well, he mentioned, didn't he, around Christmas, I think it was probably, he had this spell for about 3 weeks on the trot where he says the refs have got to protect the players.
Yeah, because he was worried about Sané and Aguero getting injured again.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. But you see that, don't you, just from watching the two leagues comparatively?
Yeah, oh, definitely, yeah. Yeah. You see.
It's bizarre how physical it is.
It is a bit. I wonder what it'd be like if we'd grown up watching a different league.
Because I bet it is really noticeable.
I think it will be, especially as a player. You know, Guardiola never played in England. Imagine as a player. Imagine Imagine you're bloody David Silva.
Yeah, I was
You've
just
been
going
at
to say
Valencia.
David Silva.
You're bloody weaving around, bobbing and weaving, ducking through crowds of players, and then suddenly you get banged with a shoulder barge. And yikes! Is that legal? Yes, it's legal. And by the way, you've signed a 5-year contract, so you better get used to
That's
it.
not a foul.
No, I can get used to it. And David Silva's an edge case.
Shows how insane those players are, though, to be able to roll with it.
The smaller ones, yeah. People like Aguero. Aguero gets more. Or like, I suppose, the Premier League was still physical when Michael Owen was running the show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Christ, look at who he played with. That guy will have played with Neil Ruddock, won't he? Jesus. Defenders were definitely more physical. They were not as athletic, were they?
No.
That you could drink and smoke.
That's probably why he could get away with what would now be considered a foul.
And that's probably why he was razzing past them. Because they were overweight. They were out of shape. Neil Ruddock wouldn't be able to out-sprint Rafael Varane. I know he's an extreme example. He's the fastest defender in the world. Unverified.
Sorry, Hector.
I've done no research. Is Bellerin a defender?
Whoa.
Controversy. He's an Arsenal fan. So, vested interest.
Second week on the trot.
Nice.
Outed.
Make sure, because only about 0.5 people listen to that one. So, if another 0.5 listen to this, then we get the word spread.
It's somewhere out there.
Yes, it is somewhere out there. Speaking of the Champions League, as we were quite a while ago, it's on right now. Madrid Bayern Munich is currently 4 minutes 54 seconds underway.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly when this will be uploaded, but what score do you see it going? Let's go incredibly detailed in our predictions so that if we are wrong, people will realise that we haven't done it retrospectively and we've just cheated.
Okay.
Well, that's
okay.
If one of us gets it right, we'll never upload this episode because no one's going to believe it.
Fair enough. I will say, I can never back against Real Madrid, you know.
Well, Robbins looks like he's going off injured, so
yeah, I don't know. It looks okay. I think he'll come back on. I'm going to go 1-0 Madrid. I think it's going to be pretty tight. Oh, you should have done better.
Thomas, I'll tell you who just scored that, Ronnie. I'm going to go 2-2.
Really?
It's going to be a hell of a game, and I think we should watch it.
I think we should. Who do you see scoring first?
Team or player?
Player.
Thomas Muller. I think Thomas Muller will score for. I think it goes 1-0 Bayern, 1-1, 2-1 Bayern, 2-2.
Okay.
Ronaldo will score a penalty.
I think there's very few chances, and Real Madrid just catch him out on a break.
1-0. I've got to assume it's Cristiano Ronaldo who scores.
It's going to be Ronaldo.
There you go. There's the prediction. Hopefully, well, if only one of them's correct. No, I don't know. No, we could have set that up. Maybe we'll get one bit right.
I don't know.
But that's it.
And there you go.
That's it. A shortened episode, but that's the midweek.
We'll be back on the weekend.
Back on the weekend, yeah. Longer version, more detailed. Preview. We're going to be talking about the Championship and the hopefully promoted teams. Teams aspiring for promotion. Don't want to ruin it, but talk a little bit about Derby versus Cardiff.
Big game last night.
Shocker. Bit of an upset after the 1-0. Don't want to ruin it. So we'll go into a bit of detail with that. Preview the Premier League. Anything else? I guess we'll discuss Arsenal versus Atletico Madrid. We'll discuss Madrid Bayern Munich. See if our predictions are spot on.
And I guess we look ahead to the finals.
We'll bloody have to now. You said it on air. Thanks for listening. Viewer, listener.
See you later, everyone.
Tell your friends. And don't forget to comment below with any criticisms, insults, or jokes. Thanks very much.
Thank you.